Alright. This is definitely not the second recording. I definitely did not get the draft wrong. We're here for our first VOD review of SKT versus Damwon Gaming. I, Vedius, the wonderful analyst that literally never ever gets anything wrong, is here to blow your mind about the wondrous world of the LCK. Quiet, Twitch chat. For those that are watching on the VOD, you're missing out. Twitch chat is excited right now. They've expanded their question repertoire to what color are my eyes and how many fingers do I have. It's really, really exciting. You should tune in every Monday at 6 p.m. CEST to watch all of this live. In any case, let's talk about SKT versus Damwon Gaming from week 10. Their most recent performance, and let's try and figure out how good both these teams are as they head into their gauntlet next week, or later this week rather. So, starting with SKT, who are on the blue side. They ban away the Yuumi, the Vladimir, and the Corki. Fun fact, the last time SKT and Damwon met, they actually banned away the Vladimir against Damwon. Now, you might wonder how I know that, and that's not really relevant. But the main point here is that Vladimir is considered a strong pick for Damwon. Their top laner, Nuguri, definitely a talented Vladimir player, so the respect ban is going to come out from them. Yuumi being taken off the board, SKT don't want to first pick it. The Corki taken away as well, nothing too crazy. It means that they have the option of first picking the Azir if it gets left unavailable. The Ezreal ban is surprising. This surprises me. Aatrox and Azir, not too surprising. You know, they're very strong in the current meta. But the Ezreal ban does surprise me. I know the LCK loves their Ezreal. They play it a lot. But I'm surprised that you would ban it away. I feel like there are many answers, because Xayah is left up. And interestingly, SKT choose to first pick the Varus. This is not what Europe would do. Europe would 100% first pick Xayah or Rakan. One of the two, probably Xayah, because Xayah can still function without an AD carry, whereas she's also the only AD carry right now that's like not getting nerfed ever, and can be played with pretty much any support. So I'm very surprised that SKT would not go for the Xayah and instead first pick Varus. Damwon then go for Akali Sejuani. This makes loads of sense. Akali and Sejuani, not only is it an excellent duo, but it has a really good level 6 spike. It's got a strong 2 versus 2. I like it a lot. Akali also very strong in the current patch. Tahm Kench and Skarner. Okay, so I understand why they picked the Tahm Kench here. Number one, it works very well with the Varus. And the Skarner, I can see as a scaling sort of jungler, strong level 6, really good at things, really good at playing into things like the Akali, because if she ever comes out of her shroud, you can lock her down, drag her out, execute her. Same thing can be said for Xayah. If you can kill her before she's able to get her ultimate off, it's pretty good. So I don't think it's a terrible pick. I think the draft from SKT is fine right now. I just think that they had better options available to them. They could have first picked the Sejuani. They could have first picked Xayah Rakan. They didn't decide to do either of those things. So very surprising. But in any case, I wouldn't be. I mean, the problem is I can see that it's a Karma. But if I was seeing this draft live, I would be thinking to myself, Damwon should consider banning the Karma, because Karma, Varus, Tahm, really strong trio. You see it a lot on the current meta. I think it can be really effective. In any case, Damwon go for Xayah. So now you have to ban away the Rakan to take it away from Xayah. And then they ban the Aurelia. So they don't want to give away Akali and Aurelia. But they don't ban away Qiyana. So again, slight differences between LCK and Europe. Europe would have 100% gone Akali, Qiyana. Really strong duo. It's got a lot of flexibility. You can switch between both top and mid to get whatever best matchup for you possible. They have strong team fighting. They have strong skirmishing. Like a very, very powerful duo. So I'm surprised that they wouldn't go for that. Nico ban. Wow. Okay. So Nico taken off the boards along with LeBlanc. So LeBlanc is just a good matchup into the Akali. It's also a Faker special, so that makes sense. But the Nico ban does surprise me. I feel like Nico's fallen out of the meta, at least in Europe it has, after the nerfs that it received. Teams not as eager to pick it up anymore. Because both Nico and Kennen were both nerfed, and like that's what also gave more popularity to AD Kennen. Pardon me. Okay, so like Nico ban is just clearly something they just want to take out top lane. Could also be a respect ban to the top laner. Rakan and Aurelia. The Aurelia ban also surprises me a little. God. Yeah, okay, so these second phase bans are a little bit weird, but they're not so strange that I'd be like, this is a dumb ban. Personally, if I was SKT, I would have taken Rakan and Karma away, because as you can see, they do lock in the Karma, and then they go for Kennen. Oh, so Karma goes mid, and then they put Kennen top. Oof. I don't think I like this. So they put the Karma mid against Akali because it's really difficult for an Akali to kill Karma, so it's safe. It's very safe. However, you're now... What this comp is effectively is protect the Varus, and then they've drafted a split pusher as well. So, like, you can threaten on sides, and, like, one of the advantages of Tahm Kench is you can obviously move from mid to side very quickly. However, I'm personally not a fan of seeing this paired up with this. Like, we saw a similar thing from Origin when they ran the Twisted Fate. And if it doesn't get ahead, then it's kind of useless because your damage portfolio is limited. Like, you'll never win team fights. Like, you have a decent amount of utility, but... yeah, I'm not a massive fan of this. Especially blind picking the Kennen, because it's not as safe as you think. There are a lot of really good matchups into it. And I think Jace is one of them. The Braum surprises me. Europe definitely wouldn't have gone Braum here. How interesting. The main reason is because they think Xayah is like the strongest AD carry right now. So they would want to pair it up with the stronger support so that you can generate more pressure in the 2 versus 2. But I think Tahm Braum is like pretty even. Depending on which support you speak to, will tell you that like, oh, it's Tahm favored or it's Braum favored. Maybe after all the Tahm nerfs, it's way more Braum favored. Maybe. I haven't actually delved much into it because again, Europe doesn't play a lot of Braum. But yeah, so I think like the draft from Damwon, I think I like a lot more. They have the ability to play 1-3-1. Their team fighting and scaling is also pretty good. I'm not going to sit there and say that their poke is amazing just because they have Jace. But it feels like that they have more ways to win the game. Like, if they get Akali ahead, if they get Jace ahead, their bot lane should scale pretty evenly with this duo. Of course, the Karma changes things a little bit, but if you bring this Kennen into team fights, all his ultimate is doing is... providing CC. And so all these guys need to do is kill this guy, and then they run out of damage, I think. So I think I prefer Damwon's comp a lot more. Again, I'm not a massive fan of putting the Karma in the mid lane and the Kennen top. Because I think, like, your damage... I just don't think you have enough damage. Because this is effectively a 4-1 comp, right? But if you're picking Karma to play through the Varus. So, like, the Varus becomes the carry. It's like the old Kog'Maw strats, you know? Not quite as intense as the Juggernaut comps, but it's the same principle. And then you put a split pusher with it. And you don't even know the matchup. So I would have put the Karma top, which I think is always a safe blind. And then I would have picked a mid laner into the Akali that works just as well. Like, again, you could have done Kiana. You could have done... what else could they have done to Akali? Now, oh God, now I have to remember. What else can you play into Akali? I don't think... I mean, you could run Kassadin. I don't think it's a good idea, but... Maybe they were just worried. Maybe they couldn't think of, like, what else could work into the Akali matchup. Maybe. Anyway. Oh, Silas. Silas. Thank you, chat. Chat is right. Silas makes way more sense here. Thank you, chat. Chat, you are big brain. Chat is big brain. Silas makes 100% more sense. Silas should go here. Silas should be in this draft. Against the Sejuani as well, SKT should have picked Silas. Thank you very much, chat. You've saved my draft. That's what I think SKT should have done. Right, let's get into the game. The actual game now, not the wrong one. Right, let's watch. Let's slow the game down a little bit. Okay, so expectations in terms of what we're going to be seeing in the early game. Clit is just going to be farming. I think Canyon should look to path top and allow Nuguri to get the early push against the Kennen. I think Nuclear and Barrel have to accept the fact that they won't have push at early levels, but they do have pretty solid gank setup later. I think mid lane will just be a farm fest. I don't know if you can ever kill Faker. I expect this early game to be really slow. I don't think you have any real lanes that are really super easy to play around, at least not until 6. Also, for the record, if I'm an Akali playing against a Karma, I'm sitting there being like, this is fun. Because the thing about Karma is she's safe, but she never has kill pressure. You're never sitting there thinking to yourself, this Karma can kill me. Because she can't. You have to misplay horribly to die 1v1 to a Karma. So, Clid does red into Krugs, into Raptors. Normally you base now. Meanwhile, Sejuani doing a bit more of a full clear bot side into... Oh, he's just doing a full clear. Interesting. Well, we expected that they would start bot, as we expected as well. Teddy and Effort would have push in bot. Top would have the push for Nuguri, and Showmaker and Faker is pretty even. It's pretty much just slow ebb and flow back towards the mid lane. If I'm not too surprised. Both junglers looking to do full clears. They're both more on the scaling end. Both of them want level 6. What does surprise me? Okay, so this is the other thing that we need to quickly talk about. Canyon needed to be aware that there was the risk of the Scuttle Crab being taken. So because Faker has push in mid, he gets there first, but Nuguri also has push. So they could have created a situation where they could have fought for Scuttle, but they choose not to. Which I find quite interesting. Because they also don't have pressure bot, so you might not get bot Scuttle Crab, which isn't great if SKT get both of these Scuttles. Bit of trading. But this is also why I'm saying, like, picking the Braum doesn't make a lot of sense, because you're also conceding the 2v2 and you already knew the matchup. Like, Braum does synergize well with Sejuani and adds more to your team fighting later, but Europe wouldn't play it. They would look to try and get more pressure in the 2 versus 2. So, already seeing some, like, cool regional differences in terms of pick priority and matchup preferences, which is pretty cool. So notice how Clid got both Scuttle Crabs there, because he pathed up towards top. Canyon didn't want to contest. And then because bot lane still had pressure, he was able to get this one as well. So Clid is now ahead in terms of the jungle matchup, in terms of experience. So he'll get level 6 first. So he has the ability to gank first. If he wants to. As we said, not a huge amount happening in the early game. I'm actually going to double speed this. Okay, level 6. Keep an eye on the junglers. He can't dive top, he's not 6 yet. That guy's also not low enough, and that wave isn't big enough. So SKT get priority over early Drake. Yeah, I mean, SKT right now are playing around their early pressure pretty well. The lanes are kind of going as we expect. Mid is pretty even. The reason why Faker's a little bit behind is because he's been helping out his jungler. But also, once you hit level 6, you just have to be very careful of Akali. Whereas bot lane is slightly ahead for Teddy. So, again, very much what we expected. So nothing too crazy has happened so far. Pretty clean, pretty standard game. I am just surprised the Canyon wouldn't look to contest with those Scuttles. So now a lot of the jungle camps are respawning. Alright. See, it's difficult for me to sit there and say that like a gank should have happened. It would have been different in Europe, because I don't think that's necessarily true. But the difference is Europe wouldn't draft Braum here, I don't think. So they would have more room. If this duo was level 6 and Sejuani could have done something, I understand why the Sejuani path bot, because her camps were respawning. Ooh, they get level 6 first. They go for a bit of an all-in. This is really good. Ooh, they messed that up. So Showmaker gets, gets rooted by the Varus ultimate. That's a really good slow from Effort as well. So he charges up the Q, and then he flashes, but he misses it. He wants to get it at point blank. If he'd held it on to a little bit longer, he would have had a double here. So a bit of a misplay there, but... Ooh, I like this as well. Notice how Karma gets pushed in mid, and then rather than going for red, Clear immediately comes bot. They're looking for a potential dive. But given that Sejuani's already hanging around, the counter is available there. But they zone them away from all this farm and tower. So misplay from Nuclear and Barrel in the 2 versus 2. SKT feeling pretty good in that. Took advantage of the level 6 spike, but of course, no, wait, Nuclear doesn't have teleport. Who TP'd in? Was it Barrel? Oh, it was Barrel. So nothing too crazy so far in the early game. Just an advantage in the 2 versus 2 bot. So the thing we have to think about now is a potential top dive from the side of Damwon, because Sejuani is going to be pathing bot, and as you can see, this wave is going to be hitting into this tower, which means that Nuguri can build up a slow push. And with Faker not having teleport, Showmaker can either TP in, or he can just look to roam and then TP back to lane. SKT maintaining full vision control towards bot side of the map. Okay, top lane dive. Let's go, Damwon. Let's do it. Nope, we're gonna base. Okay. No top lane dive. I'd love to talk more about what could happen, but none of it is. Ooh. Okay. So I didn't talk about SKT swapping, largely because I didn't think they needed to, especially this early into the game. So something that Frost talks about, or has talked about recently, is how Rift Herald can often be considered a trap, because the amount of time it takes to get it can often equate to losing plates elsewhere on the map. So in this example, what we need to keep track of is what Nuclear and Beryl do after realizing that the Rift Herald is spawned. Because if they just commit to plates and they get themselves 2 plates in bot lane, and then the Braum starts roaming up to mid, then even if SKT use this Herald, all they're doing is trading plates, which is not really what they want to do because they have an advantage bot. I think it makes more sense for SKT to stay in the 2 versus 2, given that top lane isn't actually like falling horrendously behind. And then secure the next Drake, and then after the next Drake, then they could look to swap. But I think that they're swapping pretty early here. Is he using the ult to clear the wave? He is. So you can see Xayah approaches the tower. They get 1 plate. They get 2 plates. They're going to get a 3rd plate. Okay, this is going to result in a tower for them, though. I mean, like, ultimately it is worth for SKT now because they get to reset first. But it costs them Drake. It costs them 3 plates for 5. Ultimately, gold is in favor of SKT. It worked out. It is a fine play. And then they can move the duo back to bot lane. So I don't think it was a terrible play. It's that risk. And I'm thinking about what else Damwon could have been doing in this period of time. I think maybe bring the Sejuani bot. Like, the Braum rotating up to top is like way too late. What's the Braum going to do at this point? He should be staying bot, helping them secure plates or helping with the Drake or something. So I think Damwon could have been doing more. I guess the reason why the Braum goes back is in case... No. The Braum going base is just bad. I don't think Braum should have gone base. Because now he's just going to waste his time. So a 4th plate did drop, but no one got the gold for it, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, there is that risk. And I think SKT didn't need to take that risk, but there we are. It ends up working out. So I can't really criticize them too much for it. It's just something you have to bear in mind in the future. Like, making that swap that early can be dangerous. And the fact that Damwon didn't want to fight them... we need to slow it down a little bit now. So it's funny because this is where Ellis will probably talk to you about freezing, but I'm not going to do that. So Nuguri doesn't realize that his jungler's in the bot side of the map, and he thinks he's safe to make this play, but he is not. I wish there was more to it than that. It's just his jungler isn't top. And the thing is, there's nothing that Damwon can do because their jungler's not pressuring anywhere on the map. Yup. Okay, but they should be able to get this plate now because now Canyon is bot side. It's going to take too long for the Skarner to get there. Dive! Dive, 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 dive! Force TPs. No? Okay. Okie dokie. You can dive this. You have Showmaker moves first. He's going to get there before anyone else is. And they'll TP. SKT will be forced to teleport. And then once they teleport, you disengage. Because you're not interested in killing this duo. You're interested in getting summoner spells out. This is an opportunity to get summoners. Because if you have teleport advantage, then you get to do things. But they don't. Because they can't get kills. So they don't bother. So Faker gets back to mid first. Skarner doesn't lose anything. A lot of top farm gets lost, and Damwon don't trade it for anything. Alright, what was that? Okay, so Faker doesn't have any vision in the river. He's playing towards top side though, which is pretty safe. But then he doesn't expect Sejuani to just come out. Bit of a blunder there from Faker, but I mean, he knows the jungler's bot side, but then notice how he is like, he's hanging around the top side of his lane, so he's like conscientious and he thinks he'd be fine. But then Akali Sejuani's like, we can chase you for days. Oh, attempt number 2. Will they dive? Well, they get the tower anyway, because Showmaker's there a little bit faster this time around. And Faker wasn't in a position to TP in, so Damwon finally get the tower. Good for them. You can see the difference in early game decision making though. Like, what we've seen in this game is that Korean junglers like to farm a lot. They're very different from European junglers. Very, very different. They would have looked for ganks already. But like, remember we talked about how Damwon could look for a potential dive top. This is something that European teams think about. Because I believe that a good draft is one where you have a lane that you can play around in the early game. Because if you're just sitting there and not doing anything in the early game versus a team that is, then coming into the mid game you'll always be at a disadvantage. So you want to have options in terms of what you can do in the early game. And Damwon do have options. They can look to play around mid. It's a little harder because it's a Karma and she's very difficult to kill. You could look to play around bot at level 6, but Damwon messed up their level 6, so you can't do that. So top lane is the next best place. Jace has a lot of damage. The Sejuani can tank up the tower for a decent amount of time and provides the CC and setup. And Showmaker can even show up and assist in the execution as well. So Damwon had the ability to set up that dive, yet chose not to do it. And I'm not saying that Damwon are necessarily playing this game wrong. I'm just saying that there were opportunities that they could have taken advantage of that they didn't. And it's quite cool because it's different from what we see normally in Europe, where Europe often prefers to look for a lot more opportunities in the early game. Right now, SKT have played around where they have pressure much better, I think. And off the back of how this early game has gone, I feel that SKT are playing the map a little bit better overall. I'm still not a massive fan of the Kennen pick, but okay, so this is good from SKT. There's Karma can't do anything bot, so she pushes the wave under the tower and then groups up mid. Kennen does the same, where he says top is missing, could be grouped up with the team, so just be careful. They're just clearing out some vision, then he bases. Notice how he doesn't overcommit topside, because Damwon have to go and catch. Also notice the pathing that Nuguri takes here through the back of his jungle, because he realizes that this doesn't belong to him because they're always pushed over. So Kennen now looks to group up with his team, but now the waves are being pushed back out. But Kennen can afford to, because this wave is slow pushing. And again, this is where LS would sit there and tell you that you could look to freeze that. But again, I'm not going to go into this topic. So Drake is spawning. Nuguri pushes out the wave. He's basing. He wants to reset and spend his gold just before the Drake spawns. So now we're expecting a fight to happen around Drake. So they need to get push bot. They have prio mid, so they get access to the dragon first. Flash in onto Clids. Alright. So, let's backtrack. Let's backtrack to the draft. Chat. Twitch chat. Do you remember when you guys and girls said that Silas would be better? And do you remember when I said I don't think SKT have any damage? Okay, so number one, Faker's not here yet, but that's not the end of the world, right? He's catching the wave. SKT go for this. So a bit of miscommunication, but Showmaker messes up anyway. So this engage is fine, right? But notice how little damage they have when it comes to trying to kill the Sejuani. And I think focusing the Sejuani is not a terrible choice here. But they just don't have any damage. They just don't. That was a good Brawl ult, though, to be fair. Really good Brawl ult. Like, straight onto the cannon. He can't hit anything. Maybe if he then gets the hit. But, like, if this is an AP cannon, that Sejuani dies. And then Showmaker comes in. There's no more peel for Teddy. And then the Xayah just ripping through them all. Like, the team fighting is just stronger for Damwon. I sit there and say, like, this is a 3 versus 4. So this is even better for SKT. Because the Jace isn't even there yet. Yeah. Like, the idea behind this engage is not terrible from SKT. It's not terrible. Because you can understand the idea of what they wanted to do. However. See, the thing is, I know what people are going to say. They're going to be like, meh. Clearly, the execution was the problem here. And I mean, to a degree, like, you can argue that. Because again, like, this Brawl ult from Beryl, this is ace. This is really good. So, like, notice how long the cannon doesn't hit anyone for, right? The cannon actually doesn't land a single auto in this fight. So I'm sitting here saying they have no damage, when in actuality, Khan was never allowed to use his damage. So who am I to sit there and say that the problem is with the comp? And like going for this pick initially. Alright, I will concede my point. I will concede it. After reviewing the footage further, I will concede for now that this was just a well-played fight from Damwon. They outplayed SKT. And now they will secure a Drake. Because the real question is, if Faker is on Silas, is this fight different? And the answer is probably not, because now you just have a Karma here instead of a, instead of a cannon. But then, does this situation stay the same? Debatable. All right, I won't harp on about it. Anyway, main takeaway here is that Beryl is a god. Really good ultimate from him. Showmaker, even though he used... We all saw it, Showmaker. We all saw it. Let's have another look. Watch him. Whoop. But it's fine. It's fine. He still gets all the kills. Damwon. Teamfight gods. No, but that was a genuinely really good team fight. Beryl's a good player. I mean, we saw it at Rift Rivals as well. He's a really good support. I like Beryl. Barrel the support. I mean, like, again, forcing a fight here is not a terrible idea because Jace isn't there. It's 3 versus 4. But Beryl, what a god, what a hero. Which speed are we on? Whoop! Let's keep going. We got a bunch of games to get through, so I'm speed running this. Alright, we need to think about... Right, I'm skipping now. I'm not skipping this much. Let's think about what are next steps for both teams. Gold is still very even. SKT haven't lost the game yet. It's really important that Teddy gets items. Because, again, he's still the main damage dealer. Notice how much Khan actually lost in that whole fight. Because now he's 20 CS down. Because Nuguri was like catching all the farm in a side wave. Because Khan was forced to group with the rest of the team. So, SKT want to play for mid tower. In order to do that, they need to get pressure top. Their siege isn't the worst, but the wave clear from Damwon is pretty solid with the Jace and a Zaya. God, burping, yawning, everything. Ridiculous. God, what do SKT want to do next? Mid tower would be the best bet, but it's difficult to take. And Damwon have no real reason to, like, leave. I guess you could use Tom Kench ult to make a play towards bot side of the map and try and secure that out of tower. That could work. Meanwhile, Damwon. So one cool thing they could consider doing, I don't know how well this would work, but is something we do sometimes in Europe is like a 0-3-2 reset on the map. So you forget this lane, you sack it. And then you send someone down to one of the lanes where your other sideline is. So you create a 2 versus 1. You can then generate a push and then look to collapse. And you can either threaten this tower as 2 people, or you can collapse through the jungle and then threaten as 5. While this person like hangs around top and they try to threaten this tower, or they come down in group, you know. I mean, it's slightly riskier because if it doesn't pan out, then you lose all this farm up towards top side. But it allows you to attack the sides and give you an opening to then attack mid. But ultimately, in order to take these mid towers, you need to gain control of areas of the jungle, and then you need to threaten a dive so you can zone them away. Because if you can't access from this angle, from the side, then they can just sit here and defend forever, especially with a Varus and a Zaya. But so both teams want to effectively do the same thing, but they need to get creative in how they do it. So the Karma pushes out top. Note that we haven't actually seen effort. Well, he used his Tom Kench ultimate 1 stop. So Canyon comes towards bot. What are they doing? Are they getting scuttle? No. Just clearing out some wards, I guess. Neither team are really setting up for anything. They're just like trading vision back and forth. Like those two are still just farming top lane. Like, you need to be thinking about what do you want to do next? What do you want to do next? What do you want to do next? And I feel like neither of these teams are thinking about what they want to do next. They're just waiting for Drake. Okay, rapid fire is now done for Teddy. Okay. Are we really just going to go back to catching? Okay, this is cool. Okay. Okay, here we go. We've got some action. Let's have a look at this. So, we finally get a TP play being used cross-map. So, the Skarner comes in through the lane. We talked about this, but like in a slightly different sense where you bring one of your side laners rather than the jungler. Both junglers have the same idea. Canyon just wants to cover for his top laner. And I think mainly because they see that the Tahm Kench starts roaming down. So they spot him on the ward. They're like, whoa, 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 they're missing. They're coming, they're coming. So he then pass down, but then the TP comes through, and then of course they get the collapse because Teddy and Effort have prio in the river. Both Showmaker and Faker both use their teleports. Farm gets off top. What are they converted into? Do they convert it into anything? Okay, this should be a bot tower. Nice. Cool. Alright. So they kind of did what we wanted. But this also works. Like, this is fine. I'm not saying that they're wrong in this play. There's nothing wrong with this. Wait, why didn't they get the bot tower? What happened? He doesn't have enough damage. Okay, so maybe someone should have stayed with him and helped. Maybe. Because, I mean, do you really need Karma in this lane right now? Seriously. Probably not. What is happening to my quality right now? Can we stop? Thank you. Okay, so now. So, okay. So again, we're always thinking about, like, what do you want to do next? What do you want to do next? So now, Damwon have a much better idea of what they want to do next, which is Drake. So, notice. Showmaker knows he doesn't have teleport. He can see that the dragon spawns in 38 seconds. So he's going to go back to base, spend what gold he has, probably pick up a control ward, and then start walking down and grouping up with his team. Faker, I don't remember the last time that he reset, but I'm pretty sure he TP'd to bot and hasn't gone back to base yet. Hasn't picked up any control wards, but that's still fine. The real problem is that Khan is on this tower, secured that kill, hasn't chosen to reset yet, but he does have teleport. But the thing is now, SKT are almost certainly going to be forced into using their teleport because Nuguri is already back out on the map. Now, if they had committed more members to securing this tower, they probably all could have just based and walked away with a tower advantage. Instead, all they get is a kill. They've now overstayed on the map for too long, given that Damwon get to reset, and now Damwon are in a much better position to set up for the Drake. So notice how Tahm Kench is now going to go back to base. Given the numbers disadvantage, SKT cannot approach the dragon. And notice as well, the Akali has now started to group up with the team. As well as that, the Skarner and the Kennen have now both gone back to base. So Damwon immediately get prio over this Drake. The moment that it spawns, they can start it. And SKT have to walk into Fog of War. But they shouldn't really be able to challenge this because they shouldn't gain access to it. Damwon should walk away with the Drake. So remember this whole thing started because SKT tried to gank bot lane and they found a kill onto Nuguri. On paper, that makes sense. But now it's resulted in a loss of Drake. So the next question is, how do the next steps play out? Because SKT do get priority over mid lane, so they can threaten the mid lane tower. The thing they have to be careful of is a flank from Canyon. Khan and Clid set up so that doesn't allow it to happen. If Damwon get to keep this tower alive, then even though they lost that kill on bot, like, they're extremely happy right now. Ultimately, they're the ones that walk ahead away as the victors, because they've now picked up 3 Drakes. That was also a mountain. They don't lose too much on farm. And they're in a very comfortable spot. They get to hold on to this wave as well. And now their sideways are also pushing towards them so they can catch these two. Like, all of that stemmed from the fact that SKT did not leverage the fact that they found a kill bot and didn't convert it into any objectives, but also because they delayed their reset too long. They couldn't get back out onto the map fast enough. And now look, he's too afraid to approach the tower because... Oh, okay. He should still be able to get this. Alright, well, I think that was a bit of a mistake from Damwon. I think they stayed grouped up mid for a little too long. Yeah. But I guess he's afraid because they have access into the river. So now the rest of... Okay, I'm not entirely sure why Damwon is resetting now. Like, all they did was take Drake. I'm going to watch Nuguri and see what he picks up on his base. Oh, okay, he does complete boots. Okay, okay. But you can see, right? Like, that was effectively greed from SKT. They thought that they could get everything. And they honestly just didn't have the time to get everything. Now, in the end, they still get that bot tower, so you can debate, like, it's still a pre-even trade. I don't think Nuguri needed to reset. He could have just gone bot and catch the wave. But I do also respect the fact that he was afraid of who was in the enemy jungle. And rather than just walk through the enemy jungle and potentially die, he decided to base. And he just conceded the tower. So I think that's fine. So I'm again thinking about what can these teams do next. So they still really want to take this mid tower down. It's 25 minutes in and it hasn't gone yet. What I've noticed is that both these Korean teams really like playing around Drake. Outside of Drake, they don't really know how to play around objectives. They just farm. Drake and Riftchild seem to be the only objective that these teams know how to play around. In the meantime, they just focus on clearing waves. SKT's in a position to siege on this. Ooh, nice. Okay. So, they had the push in bot, so I think they're fine to make this play. And, you know, Showmaker just used his E, so this is good. I like this pick. Nuguri isn't really in position. Very quick stopwatch comes out, but neither team really commits to the fight. Does Barrel have a Q? Oh, wait. Does he have a QSS? Did he QSS something? It looks like a cleanse or a QSS, doesn't it? Looks like a QSS to me. Hang on, we can just check his items in a second. Alright, but that was a good pick, and they should be able to get mid-tower with this now. Again, look at how the positioning of both Clid and Khan. They can threaten the dive, so they end up securing it. So, that was pretty good. So they end up getting the mid-tower. Not in the way that we really expected, because they just found a good pick onto Showmaker. So, like, when we talk about steps in terms of securing objectives, you need to think about how you secure these objectives, right? That sentence didn't make any sense. If we go all the way back here, and we look at this setup initially, right? So they have Khan pushing bot. In this window, he can rotate round to mid, and they can generate a numbers advantage. Because they have more people, they get to gain access into the enemy jungle. Because of that, they can drop wards, and they can see where Damwon is. Because they can see and Damwon can't, what you can do is you can threaten a dive. And with more people, Damwon would be forced to back away from this tower, or at the very least, they'd be zoned off it enough to allow Teddy to hit it. But right now, they're afraid to approach it, and you can see like it's only Teddy really getting close because they don't know where Showmaker or where Canyon is. Now, the mistake here comes from Showmaker jumping over the wall and utilizing his E. So Clid uses that as an opportunity to find a pick. But what they should have been doing is Khan should have rotated down. They should have been using a numbers advantage in order to get deeper vision and threaten a dive. And it's not about actually doing the dive, it's more about the implication. Because then, Damwon recognized that this space doesn't belong to them because Nuguri is bot, and the only way he can challenge is if he TP's in mid. And if he TP's in mid, then SKT still get an advantage, and they can send Khan back bot, and he can now threaten that tier 2 tower. So you can see how SKT have options to create pressure in a variety of different locations, but they don't. So this is where I sit there and I criticize SKT to a degree in the sense of like, they're skipping steps, because they're getting this tower by not doing it the proper way. Now, in the end, they still get the tower, which is fine. You know? Like, they punish the mistake here. They get good damage down onto Damwon. And now they don't have the HP to really commit. And they even had to use some of their ultimates. So, this still results in gain for SKT. But this is actually what we wanted to see. So, you can see this ward from Khan, how he threatens on a side. You can see how Clid comes in from the other flank. Like, this whole setup is what they wanted initially. Khan should have moved earlier. They should have been grouping and forcing their way into the enemy jungle. While Nuclear and Beryl were clearing mids. And that should have been how they properly set up for the objective. But they don't do that. So whenever you hear people talk about like skipping steps, that's like a cool example of how SKT effectively got away with skipping steps. But it also showcases that maybe they don't know how to take a mid tower in that situation. Maybe they don't. Now I can't say for certain, like, because this is only a single game, right? And I might be missing something as well, but it's something that like I would note down, keep track of, and like we're gonna cast the whole series. So we're gonna VOD review the whole series, so we can have a look at it. We can see if it persists throughout the series. But yeah. Oh, Drake is spawning, by the way, guys. So we all know what that means. A fight is coming. Oh, Khan starts this one off. They actually expend the teleport. Okay. Damwon aren't in a position to contest this one. Please don't do Baron. Okay, no. They're just getting vision. Nope, they're starting it. What? 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 Okay. 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 Whew. Oh, okay. Let's evaluate the state of the map right now. Akali is being forced to catch the wave top. They don't have a pushing wave bot, but they do get priority over mid. So SKT gain access to the river. This is pretty bread and butter, straightforward. The important thing to note, Khan doesn't have teleport. Faker does. But he uses his teleport to group up with the team. I understand why, because they're worried about Beryl and Cannon coming in from the flank, but I don't think they have to be paranoid about that. So they use this teleport here. Now, Teddy and Effort group down, and Khan goes bot. They actually don't even consider that Baron is an option. So I don't know if this is big brain from Damwon or if this is just a massive mistake from SKT, but I think it's big brain from Damwon because they're like, SKT have no teleports. They're on Drake right now, and we have double mountain. Wait, did he stop to clear out those wards? He stopped to clear out the wards. Look, look. What's Clid doing? They're about to start Baron, mate. Okay. I mean, like, admittedly, this is the, you know, the advantage of having double mountain. But by the time Clid gets there, I mean, I hope those wards were worth it, buddy. I mean, like, I think it's smart from Damwon just because they recognize that SKT don't have any teleports. So they have to run. And, like, the amount of damage that they have means that they can kill this so quickly. I guess this was just really big brain from Damwon. But, like, I'm not sure why Faker used the teleport here. I mean, like, okay, so I do understand, but I don't think it was needed. I think it was a bit of a mistake. And then Calm Path's bot, not considering that they could do Baron. But, like, again, this is what we talk about when we refer to skipping steps. So before the Drake even starts, right, Khan should be bot pushing that wave out because he has access to it first. They know where the Jace is. They can see in mid lane. So he should be creating a point of pressure, right? In that time, Faker should base and then regroup with his team. Not TP, he should group. Then what you can do is you can send Faker bot and Khan can stay grouped up with his team. But they don't push out bot wave. It's neutral. So Khan now feels the need to go and get it. But of course, Damwon don't feel threatened anywhere because they've caught the top wave. There's nothing pressuring them bot. There's no wave mid. And they know that the SKT have no teleports. So here's another example of SKT skipping steps when setting up for an objective. And a really just good awareness from Damwon to punish. They end up trading 1-for-1 here, right? I mean, big brain Damwon. Hmm. 2-for-1. But Damwon walk away with the Baron. So I gave SKT's draft a lot of like question marks, but I actually don't think like the draft has really been relevant at all in this game. Damwon have just often punished a lot of the mistakes that SKT have made. Surprises me because all I've heard about Damwon is like mechanically they're all really strong, but this is actually a very macro focused game. I think they've missed a lot of opportunities in the early game to take advantage of, personally, but hey ho. So now Karna's bot doesn't have teleport. So Damwon can actually force a fight here. They should dive. So look. Look. Do you see this? This is exactly what I mean. Do you see how? They group up as 3 here. They have numbers. So this is what I was saying SKT should have done earlier. So then they move in as 2. They use numbers to force their way into the jungle. and then they clear out vision. And these guys know that they're here. So now they can't sit here and wave clear from safety because the risk of a flank is real. If they stay into this tower, Canyon comes in from underneath, gets CC'd, they die. He doesn't have teleport either. This is what you should do when taking mid tower. This is good. And see how quickly they took it as well? Now, admittedly, they're going to like take a bunch of chip damage on this bot tower, which sucks for them. So like SKT do a good job of trading in this situation because it's like the best case scenario for them. They're probably going to lose that mid tower regardless, so Khan going for that play makes sense because they can't 5v5 the mid. And then they push mid back out, and they're just trying to generate pressure for Khan. So I think SKT's answer is fine, is good. I actually think they should have kept him bot. They do not want to group up with him now. I don't think they should 5v5 at all. I don't think they win. Especially with that Khan build. This is just built for 1v1, in my opinion. Yeah, this is where they want him. Okay, he's losing the 1v1. Wait, what? Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh, a deer, a female deer. Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this image? Anyone? Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this image? Why are they pushing mid? Great point. Excellent point. Why are they pushing mid? So again, it's all about pressure, right? So all they should actually do here is clear out the wave, and then the duo moves with the jungler. Because now, Nuclear is forced to clear mid lane. So what you can do is you can create a numbers advantage in the bot lane, and you can secure that tower uncontested. Because you also know that Nuguri is going base. So if this duo joins bot, they get a free tower. But they don't. Big mistake from SKT. They'll lose an inhib for this. I don't think Khan should have based. He should have stayed bot. Because you're not stopping them. Oh, okay, they don't lose. Okay. Fair enough. My mistake. Khan's presence there was valuable. Clouds spawning in 8 seconds, guys. Another fight is about to happen. Okay, so SKT actually delay the reset from Damwon, which is really good. Gives them access to Drake. Korea really likes their Drakes. Holy moly. Bum 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 bum. In terms of decision making, I think Damwon have overall played this game much better than SKT have. But SKT were in a position to win. Damwon isn't so amazing that... Oh no. I didn't see that one coming. Let's have a look at the minimap. Teddy now TP's mid. When did he base? Okay, so that's not a good base. You don't get to use your TP. Okay, fair enough. He uses his TP to compensate for the fact that he based really late. He's got an item upgrade, so fair enough. I think he has Bloodthirster now. But then he dies. I don't know, they're just 2 in mid. What did Damwon have to be afraid of? What else is getting threatened on the map? That's game, right? There has to be game. Okay, well, that was a bit of a travesty. And there we are. So, I don't really think the comps had much to do with this game. The outcome, anyway. I think that what we saw was Damwon had opportunities in the early game to make plays, chose not to do them. SKT played well around their pressure in the early game. They leveraged a strong 2v2 bot, they got a lot of advantages, they secured first tower plate, and they did a good job. However, what we also learned in this first game is that the LCK, or at least these two teams, seem to highly prioritize and value Drake. Trying to force a fight for Drake that early on, I do not think was the best idea from SKT. Even though the setup and scenario looked good for them, in the end they got outplayed by a great ultimate from Beryl, and it cost them the Drake. And even if they'd won that fight, I don't even know if they could have secured it, because Nuguri was on his way, he had everything up, he'd just gone back to base, and his poke combined with the all-in from Showmaker probably would have been enough to actually win that to 4 versus 5 anyway. But regardless, the biggest mistakes that SKT showcased this game was skipping steps when setting up for objectives, the duo overextending multiple times, and Damwon just effectively punished. Like, the Baron was very good from them. Really good awareness of misuse of teleports from SKT, and great recognition that they had the double mountain so they could rush it down. So, I think Damwon, like, they don't terrify me because they didn't do a huge amount in this game. However, I think that they did a great job of punishing the mistakes of SKT. So, props to Damwon. Overall, solid game from them. We're going to jump over to game 2 now. I'm going to stop the video. You can check out the next one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in game 2, I guess.